Hello. Welcome to our 500th episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Folks, I'm Rich Liebig.
And I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we are here to give you some interesting bits in world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. But we would be remiss if we didn't start off this show with a pretty momentous numbering of our episodes. This is officially the Crispy Noodle Podcast, episode 500. I kind of take it, though, with a little grain of salt because we've been...
I know exactly what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we've been around for so long. We've had a lot of weird episodes. We had COVID.
We kind of took a break from the numbering for... we kind of called those... we call those the Crispy Compact Communique. That's a separate...
Any
virtual
mobile show, yeah, that's the Crispy Compact Communique.
Yeah,
which I think we've done 60 episodes of.
So technically, this is 560.
I mean, yeah, if you're looking at the
totality
Crispy Noodle universe, yeah, we're up to like 560.
The numbering system from the start was almost entirely broken because we had like specials in the early days, like a Christmas special.
Yeah, we also did that. Yeah,
the end of the year, like odd news review, which we haven't done in a while. So the numbering has always been a little off, but I think it's still, because this is officially the 500th episode, we have to say something about it. You know?
So, I mean, we've now done this for a good clip.
It's been what? 11 years?
Almost 11 years.
More than a decade. That's wild.
Yeah.
When we started
in some way, shape, or form. Yeah.
When we started this, we were still, I think were we both still in grad school?
That sounds about right. Yeah. I was probably on my last year.
Those were the glory days because we used to get together
in the morning.
It was like around lunchtime. We would order lunch in.
Yeah.
and then we would sit and we would figure out what we were going to talk about right then and there.
Yeah.
And then start recording.
Yeah, and then I think I was going to the rectory for my job.
Yeah, and I was either in grad school or just blissfully taking a break between college and grad school. And and it was
a whole different era.
It was a weird time. Yeah, we used to record at like 3:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah. It was, and I think we still had segments.
We did,
but
the very first episodes we did not have any segments. Like we went in completely. Do you remember the first episodes? We're just like, let's just go.
Yeah, we just hit the red button and we just went. Well, and also too, we were also just audio only.
Yeah,
like this whole video thing. This whole video thing that we've got has only really happened in the last year or two.
Well, it started technically during COVID when we figured out we could do the Crispy Compact Communique.
Yeah.
But it didn't start in force with the video until after that. When we came back to doing it in person.
Because then we're like, well, I mean, I guess we might as well just do a video podcast. Why not? See our lovely faces.
Why not? Yeah. I liked hiding behind the anonymity of audio only. I didn't know that people wanted to see this, but no, the show has, to that point, the show has grown and changed in so many ways, but it's also really stayed the same in a lot of ways as well. Like I think back to those early days of just like spitballing random ideas half an hour before the show. I mean, like that still happens now almost a lot of times. Like we'll get together and be like, oh my God, did you hear about this thing? Or like, no. And then we have to jam it in there. And then, but in so many ways, it's just a continuation of the conversations we've always had.
Oh, yeah. I think that was always like a goal of the show is to take our conversations that we would have had anyway.
Yeah.
And we're like, let's invite people to listen in.
To join for some
us.
Reason.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, look, we cover all this ground in sports, entertainment, non-news anyway.
Right.
Let's make it a podcast.
The way I like to pitch it to people is it's kind of like a water cooler show. It's like anything you would talk about at the water cooler with friends or colleagues. We cover those topics. Yeah. Anything in sports, entertainment, or just like weird stuff that you hear.
Yeah, and it's perfect for this show, which I've joked on occasion that it's my therapy, but I really think it is my therapy.
I mean, not to get too sentimental, but we've known each other for 20 years. And we get together. And we get together every week, and we talk about the things that frustrate us, that excite us, that disappoint us in these things, these areas that we like to talk about. So, I mean, in a way, yeah, it lets us vent. It lets us be creative. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't mean to get sentimental there. You guys suck out there.
You just instantly took that back. You guys suck.
No, I can't. And we do it all for them, too. You know, for us and for them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's just been a great ride. I mean, I don't know, what the future holds, but I would still want to keep doing the show. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't foresee us ever really stopping, unless for some reason sports, entertainment, and odd news decide to stop.
I mean, we joked about it, but that's exactly what happened during COVID.
It did, though. It did. Nothing happened.
Yeah, I think that might have been the closest to us being canceled, because I don't know what if we didn't have Zoom and OBS and all that software that happened to just come at that point in our technology development. I don't know. I think we would have been. Yeah, I mean, that could have been over.
If that had happened and we didn't have something like Zoom, then we probably just would not have done a show, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Like, we've been doing this show so long, it's almost like it's a given. It's like, oh, it's Tuesday, we got to record.
Right?
It's
like, this is part of our lives up until this point.
Yeah.
So I mean,
man, that's crazy. I could not imagine not doing the show.
Oh, that was
sentimental. That was sentimental. No, I mean, it's I'm being completely honest though. Like, this is one of the things I know both of us look forward to this so much, and just shooting the shit. Yeah. That's really what it is. And inviting people in to shoot the shit with us.
All right. Well, we're very happy that you guys have joined us to shoot the shit, if you will.
Yeah.
And thank you guys for joining along for us or for the ride and supporting us in any way that you can. Whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Spotify.
Or sending us, stories to talk about online somewhere.
Yeah. Like Superfan Chapek.
Yeah. And... Yeah, I mean, just tons of support over the years.
Yeah.
From various people and places, and it's just been great.
Yeah. And I mean, I always kind of you'll probably be very happy with this. I always kind of base the year kind of on the football season. So it's like a new year coming up. It's a new season. So it's like I'm so ready to, tackle another season with you, Mike. And
absolutely.
Covering, we've now covered, I guess it would be almost 11 Eagles seasons.
We covered the tail end of Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Chip Kelly.
Think about the coaches we've gone through.
Andy Reid, Chip Kelly, Doug Peterson, and Nick Sirianni.
Four coaching eras.
4 head coaches. We saw a Super Bowl win. We saw a Super Bowl loss. We saw the launch of 2 different video game consoles.
Wow.
A pandemic.
That's a big one.
Some crazy crap between 2016 and 2020. Everything under the sun. We've had to touch on everything in one way, shape, or form.
Yeah. So we've been through the ringer, but we still have come out on the other side.
We're still here somehow.
And still here to give you a podcast every week. And yet, something that I always say about the odd news, something that I still hear that is something I never heard of before in the odd news. It's always, I've researched the odd news now for 11 years for us, sometime with Preston and Steve, and then some when I did the Rich and Doobie show in college. So I'm looking
at
like
a deep cut.
I'm looking at like 15 years of odd news research, and yet I still find odd news stories and I'm just like, what? I never heard this before.
I crunched the numbers at one time at our peak. When longtime listeners will know that when we were audio only, we got up to a point where we were doing almost 2.5 hours.
Yeah, we were a block show. Yeah,
It was a big show, and at our height, you were doing like 7 or 8 stories a week.
Yeah,
and so you figure about average, let's say 7 stories a week for the first 300 episodes. That's literally thousands, thousands of odd news stories. And out of all those odd news stories, there's certain key beats that happen, but there's always a unique twist or something else that kind of there's always something. To this day, it's my favorite segment.
Yes. And
unfortunately, that's at the end of the show. So you got to stick around.
Right. We give you the tease for it now. Whet the appetite.
We're just a big tease.
Yeah. But definitely stick around for the non-fortune cookie odd news because it always is something that like you think you might have heard, but it's never something exactly
right
that you heard. No two odd news stories are ever the same,
except when we had the Swiss cheese pervert twice.
Yes, but
that's good old Norristown for you.
I had to do it. It was
Norristown.
You had to do it. Come on, that's my hometown.
You have to.
You know, it's just randomly.
What?
So there's this thing happening where like VP picks come to Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they get a cheesesteak.
All the time.
Yeah. Well, any presidential pick. I guess John Kerry did it too. And they were mentioning how I think it was J.D. Vance. He ordered Swiss, and they said, no, we don't do Swiss. And, of course, like the moment like you heard Swiss, Philadelphia.
Yep.
Bam! It was like, oh
Swiss
yeah, remember the Swiss cheese pervert?
Yep.
And like that went viral again on Reddit. And I was like, yep, I remember.
But really though, what kind of person orders Swiss cheese on a cheesesteak?
I mean,
I don't.
No, I want to. No, if you're going into the heart of Philadelphia and you're going to get yourself a cheesesteak, no, don't put Swiss on it.
Right.
If you're making like your own cheesesteak, you want to experiment.
Okay, if you're doing it at home, sure. But if you're going to a sandwich place,
if you're going to an iconic cheesesteak spot, don't order Swiss. No.
Yeah. In my opinion,
you only get American, provolone, or Whiz. That's it. Those are your three options.
Those are the only 3 cheeses you need. Yeah. Really.
And you know me, Mike. I'm a purist.
You are.
It should only be
meat and onions and cheese. Obviously. And that's it.
That's it.
You don't do anything else. I mean, like I've experimented with like peppers every once in a while, or like a wild mushroom or something. But like the mandatory cheesesteak is just meat, cheese, and onions.
Yeah.
Like you can't go less than that. You can't, and then going more than that is just it's extra, but it's not necessary.
Yeah. Because ideally, the juices from the meat should be mixing and colliding with the cheese, and then that should be being absorbed by the bread and the onion.
There's something wrong with me. I'm having like a Pavlovian response to this right now, where now I just like I'm like literally salivating.
Yeah.
There's a great place right down here, right around the corner that makes cheesesteaks in Ambler. That's just amazing.
Oh, there you go. You know what? This is actually a good transition for our personal bit.
Okay.
So just a FYI, it's our 500th episode. Thank you guys for supporting us.
Thank you.
We look forward to keep giving you episodes every week, and I can't wait to cover this year's NFL season coming up.
To another 500.
Yeah, here we go. Starting now. Here we go.
So personal bit.
On cheesesteaks, I finally got to try Gazzo's. What
is Gazzo's?
Gazzo's has been this upstart food truck that they started out in Pottstown, but now they moved into Phoenixville.
Oh.
And literally everybody west of Phoenixville has been saying, if you want a cheesesteak, you got to go to Gazzo's.
Really?
And I finally got my hands on one, and I got to say, they're the real deal. It was it was very good.
Where do you place them in terms of like all-time greats on your list?
I think
are they up there?
I think it has a claim to being the best cheesesteak outside of Philadelphia.
Really?
Which is saying a lot because I love a Philly cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Like whenever I'm driving with Rachel on 76, I'm always looking at Rachel when we pass over the Passyunk exit, and I'm like,
"Are you sure?"
SQ Phillips is right there. You know, it's right off the exit. We can just make a right, hop in, right back on. And she's always like, "No, I get it, because if I did that, I probably would gain 100 pounds.
If you did that every time, yeah, that's.
But oh my god,
oh man! So that's the best one you've had outside of Philly.
Yeah, it's definitely up there. Yeah,
because I've had some good cheesesteaks. I mean, like I said, there's this place right here in Ambler that makes fantastic high steaks. You've had them before.
Yes,
they do really good
very
cheesesteaks.
Yep.
Really anywhere but Pat's and Geno's. Like if you stop at
those are the tourist traps.
Yeah, and that's of course going back to all the presidential and vice presidential nominees. That's where everybody goes for some reason because they're
the hype machines.
Yeah. You know what else? I don't know. Controversial opinion. D'Alessandro's not very good anymore.
They're getting up there in terms of tourist trap now.
The last time I had them, the meat was too minced.
And they have a competing cheesesteak spot that's within walking distance, and they're just as good as D'Alessandro's.
Which is what's it called? Because that's the easiest one for me to get to. So I'd
have to Google it. You're challenging me on that.
Okay.
I forget. It's right down the street.
Because D'Alessandro's is the easiest one to get to. So now I know. Now you're going to want to go research it.
Why you do this to me, Mike?
But in my opinion, D'Alessandro's is too minced, the meat. And I know this is going to sound crazy, but the last time I got it, the sandwich was so filled that you couldn't even eat it. Like, it was just, like, spilling out all over the place, and the meat was, like, kind of dry. Like, the cheese wasn't mixed into it. Maybe I had a bad experience. But it's fallen down my list a little bit. And I'm still waiting on Rich to find this other cheesesteak place. Did he find it?
Chubby Steaks.
Chubby's Steaks.
They're
not to be confused with Pudge's out here in the suburbs.
we got Pudge's out in Bluebell, which
Yeah.
they're good.
Pudge's is good, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Chubby's, they're pretty good.
Okay. I got to check them out because
It's basically
all the tourists can go to D'Alessandro's. I'll go to Chubby's.
Well, basically that's their MO. It's like you can't get a cheesesteak at D'Alessandro's because the line's too long. Come over here.
Yeah.
It's actually it's actually a really good business move.
If you want an alternative cheesesteak, like a cheesesteak in a different form, Humpty Dumplings in Glenside does cheesesteak dumplings.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Fantastic.
I like this new fad with cheesesteak egg rolls.
Cheesesteak egg rolls, you know me. I'll get them. Anytime I see them on a menu, I'm getting them. They're so good.
Yes. Okay, we're
Anyway.
spending way too much time talking. This is a Philadelphia podcast. There you go. We all went
So
off on
far,
cheesesteaks.
we've introduced ourselves. We talked about the 500th episode and cheesesteaks.
And cheesesteaks.
Should we get to actual topics?
Well, did you have any personal? I didn't. I stole away the limelight there.
No, you can have the limelight. I did nothing.
All right, there you go. Mike is having a very fruitful week.
Just every once in a while you need a week where you just like kind of like decompose a little bit. And yes, I do mean decompose. Like you just rot.
Decompose?
Yes, you fester.
Are you dying?
You rot. No, you just sit there and you do nothing. You just sit in the couch and
I was thinking like you were going to say decompress.
No, decompose.
Are you all right?
It's called a rot weekend. You've never had a rot week?
Did you take necrotic damage over the weekend?
I did, yes. I rolled with a disadvantage. I rolled with a disadvantage.
Oh my gosh.
No, what I mean is like, have you ever had like a day or two where you just sit and do absolutely nothing? They call it a rot day, where you just sit there and you just like order in food or you eat microwave food and you just don't do or be anything of note.
I just call it that a lazy day. But
Okay, I call it rot day. Yeah, rot day.
I don't know.
Because you're like a lump on a log.
That makes it sound like you're dying. Like,
Okay,
are you
maybe I need to workshop the term. I've heard it online. That's a thing the kids say.
Oh no! Is this one of those Generation Alpha stuff?
It's should I say the terms?
No.
Skibbity
stop.
is skibbity
Stop.
riz.
No, I don't
Toilet.
like all this stuff.
You love it.
Ohio.
That's the only one that makes sense. to
No,
me.
it should be Florida.
Well, no. Ohio means mid.
No, Ohio means weird.
Ohio means weird.
Yeah.
Well, what's
I
mid?
know the kids more than you do, Mike.
You do. I mean, you have nieces and nephews that age. So wait, Ohio means weird.
Yeah. Ohio means weird.
What do they say for like mid?
Mid. I don't know. Or is that Generation Z mid?
Is
I
that
don't know.
Gen Z?
I don't know.
What does skibbity mean?
Toilet? I don't know.
We got to stop. We got to
Yeah.
get to normal millennial talk,
Yes.
which is our podcast,
yes.
and get to the topics at hand.
All right. So let's launch into the first segment of our show where we go over some sports news in the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports.
In your face. Ha ha. That's right. Sports coming at you in your face. You know what? On the video podcast, how about we go over that? This is something we should do.
Okay.
Let's explain the topics in our image header.
Oh, yeah. We can do that. If you're not on the video podcast, what are you doing? Get on it.
Yeah. So on our Sports Sampler title screen, we've got obviously Nick Foles holding the Super Bowl trophy. That might be the most
Classic.
glorious victory in Philadelphia.
I mean, certainly for me.
Yeah. Then we've got Brett Favre because
Because Rich makes the segment title cards. Even though Brett Favre is an actual pervert. And
look, we got a history of perverts
and,
here on
ta-
the
and
show.
tax fraud.
Yes.
But yes.
Yeah, still a decent Mississippi guy.
Decent. I don't think those words have ever been uttered before in the history of the United States. Just a decent Mississippi guy.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got Nick Foles and Brett Favre.
When I really first started getting into football, the Packers had just won the Super Bowl with Brett Favre.
He was and is your guy. He's one of your favorite quarterbacks.
To me, I loved his play style. I love the fact that he just went out there and just chucked it.
Just wing it up there.
Because my biggest pet peeve is when these quarterbacks take sacks on 3rd and 4th down. I hate that so much.
Try something.
And it's literally just because like they're afraid it's going to hurt their they're afraid to throw that interception. Oh, it's going to look bad. Because it hurts your quarterback rating and all this.
I think it's
BS.
more protecting the football.
No, it's not. Think about it. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's 3rd and 4th down. This is your last chance to convert the down. Just throw it. See what happens. But then they hold it, and I don't want to give the ball back on the line of scrimmage.
I'll say this about the 3rd and 4th down thing. Certainly on 4th, if you're going for it on 4th and the play is blown up, chuck it up. You're going to lose possession anyway. And honestly, having an interception 30 yards down the field is better than turning over on downs.
Yeah.
So on 4th down, absolutely, there's no reason you should be going down behind the line of scrimmage. Absolutely no reason. 3rd down, I can see an excuse for wanting to protect the ball and not give up a disastrous play. I can see, I don't agree with it personally, but I can see kind of the argument of being more conservative on 3rd down. But I will say that the gunslinger mentality, it's fun to watch. It is a very boom or bust mentality, though. But as Brett Favre did quite often.
Yes. But damn it, I don't know. That makes the best product. That makes the best football to watch.
Here's something to challenge you, Rich.
Uh-oh.
If he had less of a boom or bust process, do you think he may have won an extra Super Bowl in there? If he was just a little bit more careful with the football.
I bet you some people would say yes, especially with his run in Minnesota.
He had some good teams.
But but at the same time, would he have even gotten there at the same length?
Yeah, it's one of those questions, mysteries of the universe.
Yeah,
like, what is an atom?
Well, no, it's okay. You're going too deep there. This is football, buddy.
I know,
but I would say it's like the bootstrap paradox. Like if someone kills, if someone kills your grandparents when they're growing up,
that's the grandfather paradox.
Okay, that one.
Bootstrap paradox.
I thought it was called bootstrap. I don't know.
Is that the one where if you lift yourself up by your bootstraps, you've created levitation?
No. I know that's not. No.
No, I know what you mean. Like if you go back in time to kill your grandparents, then you're never born, which means you can never go back to kill your grandparents, which means that everything kind of just balances out and happens normal.
Right. So would Brett Favre had even gotten to the NFC Championship game with the Vikings
if he didn't have that play style?
Right. Yeah. And I bet you that also helped as he got older, too, because he was still chucking it down the field.
I will say it probably helped with his longevity and the fact that if you're just chucking it up, you're not getting hit.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Back to that's the wrong title card.
Here we go.
We're going to break now, apparently.
No, going back to the sports sampler screen. So, that's Brett Favre. Then we've got the Phillies winning the World Series.
Yep, another championship for Philadelphia. Love it.
That was the first taste of success for us in Philadelphia. That was that one
2008, right?
Yeah, and that just felt so weird. That was like growing up, someone who's born 1989. That was like, no, this shouldn't be happening to Philadelphia. Like we're so used to losing.
Yeah, in our lifetime to that point we had not seen a single championship.
No, yeah,
we had gotten close.
Yep.
But we had never won anything.
So it was like bizarre. It was like, we're not supposed to win? What is this?
It was definitely a weird thing because like there was so much hype and energy in the surrounding area. It was like incredible everywhere you went.
Yeah. And then that was the game 5 too that got delayed, had to be played on 2 different nights.
It was a weird series of events. Yeah, and then they didn't they have like the parade and everything on like Halloween then? It was like it was just like a cool like weird like coincidence, everything that happened.
Yeah.
It was a storybook. Why do all of our championships have to be like storybook endings? Like Nick Foles in the Super Bowl, the Phillies like winning in the middle of a thunderstorm and then having a parade on Halloween. Like it's too picturesque.
I don't know. Why not?
Why can't we just have a regular championship? Why can't we just be good, win a championship? And
that's boring, Mike. So boring.
I would love to be boring for
so
one
boring.
season. So are you doing
That's it,
Tommy Wiseau?
Yeah, that's boring. Anyway, back to the screen.
So-
Then we've got Gritty.
Okay, yeah.
Everybody loves Gritty here in Philadelphia.
I was not sold on him when I first saw him.
I don't think we were either, but then it was like everybody was making fun of Philadelphia, and we're like, no,
right?
You don't come. No, you are not allowed to make fun.
We can make fun of him.
We can make fun of him.
You cannot.
Yeah. So then we ended up loving Gritty.
I mean, he's terrifying and lovable all at the same time.
Yep. Then I've got Allen Iverson stepping over Tyrene Lue in the NBA Finals in 2001, which was glorious.
If only they had won.
Yeah, but that was still amazing.
AI was such an electric player. Like, I actually enjoyed watching basketball solely because of him.
Yes.
And then once he left, it was like, okay, there's no reason to watch this team anymore. And that's still true.
Oh, yeah, fantastic. And then to wrap it up, we got Jack Nicklaus on his retirement, his last round of the British Open.
That's golf.
Crossing over the bridge.
That's golf for everybody who's not in the know.
That's so. Just that just gets at me in the feels as a golf.
Yeah, you got a lot of good images there on that title card.
Yeah, that was. I thought that would be fun. A little breakdown of our.
No, I mean, as we go through the show, we'll just give history, I guess, for different things.
I don't know, but and also that kind of goes over our wheelhouse. We cover football mainly, but I'm a fan of all the Philadelphia teams, so obviously we'll do some Philly, Sixers, and Flyers headlines.
I'm happy to rant against any of them. So
perfect, and I love golf. So there you go. That kind of rounds out our sports history.
What do I bring to the table? Nothing. I bring football.
More football.
I bring football and anger.
Yes. You bring the Philly anger, and I bring the rest of the sports.
You're over there like the Sixers, and I'm like, they suck. That's usually the extent of my...
Which is pretty much good analysis.
Listen, for as long as this podcast has been going, it's been super relevant.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right, so there you go. Now let's get to the news at hand that you wanted to talk about here in the Sports Sampler.
Yeah, back to actual topics. I just want to kick off just by giving a small sounding board. How excited are you that the football season is starting soon?
It's motherfucking goddamn sons of bitchin' fucking football.
That's how.
That's how excited. There's just like an electricity in the air.
Yep. This upcoming week is the last week of preseason games.
Oh man, and then we're there, man.
Yeah. Well, then it's roster cuts, and then here we go. After Labor Day, it's time for the season to start.
So, are you excited for the Brazil game? I know you're a little hesitant about it. You're a little worried, but like, come on though.
Well, I'm excited for the Eagles to get back in the full blown, season mode.
But you're kind of. You're not like very positive on them winning.
Well, I think I have a gut feeling that Brazil game's a trap game. I just feel like there's a lot of like question marks and like two new coordinators.
Is it also not going to be a trap game for Green Bay as well? I mean, aren't they also in the same situation?
No, because
having to travel and
the traveling thing. Yeah, that's on both teams. That pushes each other. That's a stalemate there. But the Packers are pretty much returning with the same team that beat the Cowboys last year.
Counterpoint,
and they've got a running back now.
Counterpoint,
Josh Jacobs.
We have tape on them. They don't have tape on our new offense and defense. So there's not much to prepare for or to prepare with. So I mean, could that cut both ways? I'm saying I'm a little bit more positive.
I think the onus is on our team. Like the coordinators need to be really hitting the ground, with the tires running at full speed. And I think there's kind of more of a tendency, I think it's more likely that they might have a couple of slip-ups, especially in their very first game with the schemes that they want to try and run with this roster they've put together. I think they're going to have a few hiccups to start off the season.
That may be true if they were first-time coordinators, but Kellen Moore is an experienced guy, a guy who's in talks to be a potential head coach. Vic Fangio has been doing it for decades and doing it successfully for decades. So, I think if these were guys who were being elevated to the coordinator position, like a Sean Desai from last year or like a Brian Johnson from last year, sure. But these guys are experienced guys. So, you all right over there?
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna.
Are you pulling up the odds?
I want to see what the point spread is.
Okay.
Going into this, so keep talking.
Okay.
You keep talking.
Well, I mean, that's exactly what I just said. I think that these coordinators are experienced individuals who, I know that it's their first time working with these specific players, but I think that because of that expertise, because of that general knowledge, they're going to be able to overcome some of those initial learning hurdles, those initial speed bumps.
So the point spread is only 2. So that basically is a toss-up.
That's what I'm saying. It's closer than you give it credit for.
No, then I don't know. To me, that see
because the way I'm reading you right now is you think they're going to lose, where I think that it can go either way. I'm positive. I'm more positive towards the Eagles.
So then you do have a doubt then that they could blow this first game.
Oh, there's always a doubt, but I'm more positive that they have a good shot at winning than they do of losing. Like if I had to I'd give it like a 60-40 split.
Oh, that's still a big percentage that you think they could still lose the first game then.
I mean, yeah, but on the whole, I'm assuming they're going to win. I feel like it's reversed for you. I think you're 40-60.
I think it's a true 50-50 game. I think it go either way.
Oh, so we're splitting hairs here. It's 10%.
But
just come to my side and join in the positivity.
I will when they come back to Philly. I think then
Okay.
they'll be right back. But especially that first game at home against the Falcons with Nick Foles.
We're going to demolish the Falcons.
Nick Foles' retirement ceremony. Yeah,
We're
that
going
game,
to stomp them into oblivion.
I think that's going to be the key in the ignition. I think they might. I think this first game might be a trap game. They might come out a little flat. They might lose this game, and then they come back home. Nick Foles' retirement ceremony, comfortable at home. Falcons still not sure what their quarterback situation is going to be. I think that's a good time.
The Falcons should sign Carson Wentz.
No, Carson Wentz is.
Where is he?
He's backing up Mahomes.
He's backing up Mahomes?
Yeah.
Oh, he's trying to get a ring again.
Yeah.
But this time as the backup.
Yeah.
Mahomes goes down. Carson Wentz is trying to make his own Nick Foles story.
Yep. That could happen this year.
We will see. But
anyway, that's how excited we are about football.
We are very excited about football. I can't wait for the season to start. I got a brand new Brandon Graham, Kelly Green jersey.
His last season too.
Yeah, that's why I picked it up. I'm like, hey, look, he's going to be gone, 'Cause I don't buy jerseys of current players who are in their prime. Like, you won't ever see me wearing an A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith jersey. Absolutely not.
Well, certainly not your brother, because he's a jinx.
Oh, he's a jinx. Like, literally, former players have died when he's bought their jersey.
Yeah, please don't have Bruno buy any Eagles jersey.
Yeah, no.
All right,
Anyway.
let's get to a broader story here for you.
Speaking of things dying, something may be on its deathbed. We had an underdog victory here. Fubo won an injunction to delay the launch of the mega merger Disney Fox Warner Brothers combined sports streaming service Venue or Venu. I don't know.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is actually good for sports fans and consumers because what this does is the injunction puts a temporary hold on the new streaming service from launching, and now this case will have to go to federal court. So they previously said this was going to launch in September. For those of you paying attention, it is basically September.
Yeah.
So this is really coming in at the last second, and I think this is why there was so little information about this streaming service. If I had to bet, I would say Disney, Fox, and WB knew that this was going to happen. And that's why when you went to their website, it was just like a coming soon in like big giant letters.
Yeah, very vague.
Very vague. So just a little bit more information on this. Fubo did file earlier this year. They claimed that the other companies have been staging a years-long campaign to weaken Fubo's streaming service, that the joint venture would concentrate too many entities into one service, and that the venture would hinder competitiveness and hike prices for viewers and distributors. The judge's opinion reads in part, quote, even if the joint venture defendants swear that such price hiking and competition excluding will not actually occur, though there is a good reason to believe that it will, one purpose of antitrust injunctions is to prevent anti-competitive incentives from forming in the first place so that American consumers do not have to simply take their word for it and hope for the best, end quote. Rich, what do you think about this? What do you think about, first, the prospect of Venue, and then second, this new injunction and what the future of sports streaming might look like?
Can we get this judge to go on Madden? Make the same ruling on Madden?
Yeah. That's a great point. We've seen what it looks like when you only have one option for sports consumption.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It's usually not great.
No. And it's a shame because I really do want to play a football video game, but you can only play Madden, and I don't know if Madden's worth $70.
Have you taken the plunge on 25?
Not yet.
Are you think? It sounds like you're thinking about it. I know. At one point you
I
said,
really want to because I want to play a football game,
yeah.
but I can't because it's only Madden.
And Madden has not been good for a while.
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, so it's not fair. So I wish we could get this judge on the Madden case. But no, from the moment you even mentioned this story last week, this seemed like a ridiculous streaming service that they were trying to put together. It was really expensive too.
It's $43 to start, and yeah, it gives
to
you
start.
and yes, it gives you a whole bunch of sports. But if everyone remembers, there's key things that it does not have. Like, for example, Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers. That doesn't include any CBS sports programs.
Yep, and they have AFC games.
So any AFC football games, they're not on there. So $43 a month. But you're missing, like, at least 4 of your team's games, depending on what conference and everything. And then in addition to that, no Amazon games, so no Thursday Night Football either.
Yeah.
So it's, and that's just in football. In the other realm, too, like NBC, you wouldn't get any NBC telecasts either.
Yep.
So you're missing 2 of the big 4 that carry major sports. So what kind of service is this? If you're trying to collect everything under one umbrella, you're kind of already missing the mark.
Yeah. This was a bad idea the moment we heard it, and I'm glad the judge was able to throw the book at him and tell him to stop this.
Well, it's a temporary hold, and this will go to federal court. Do you think that Fubo has a chance of winning? Like, I mean, neither of us have any kind of expertise.
We're
in
not
this,
lawyers here.
No, but when you see something like Disney, Fox, and Warner Brothers teaming up to create a singular streaming service, like, does that not set off alarm bells for you?
Oh,
like, it's too big.
Yeah. Too many major streaming services coming together on this.
Like, it was one thing to let Disney buy Fox. Like, they barely were able to do that, but that made it through. And now you're taking that mega merger and combining it with Warner Brothers to create a combined... Like, it's almost comical. Like...
Yeah. What else can they shove in there?
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much in terms of the anti-competitiveness and too much in terms of the actual cost of it, too. $43 is a super steep price.
And that's just the start.
And that's just the start.
You know that price is going up.
Well, according to Fubo, that's exactly their argument, is that because it would consolidate it, the price is only going to go up because they'll have a monopoly on the industry.
Yeah, so we're glad to hear that decision came down on this ridiculous service, Venue or Venu or whatever.
Yeah, I also don't know. I think
it's Venue.
I think it's Venue too, like a sports venue.
Venu sounds like a Scientology god.
I watched Going Clear.
Oh yeah,
on HBO.
Like yeah.
It was good.
Yeah,
it was freaky. Yeah,
told you it was a good one.
Yeah. Now I just gotta watch. I gotta watch the Nexium one.
Oh yeah, that one's crazy too.
I'm back into my cult true crime documentary.
By the way, randomly, we're also cult documentary experts.
We love them.
We love a good cult documentary.
Love a good cult documentary.
Yeah. If you have a suggestion on those, leave us a comment in the comments there. But
anyway, I want a streaming service of just cult documentaries. That's what I want.
You know what?
It would be better than Venue.
They could probably. Well, I guess they have Shut. I guess if you did that with horror, that would be Shudder.
Yeah, that's true. I guess.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll work on it.
Yeah. We'll snowball that.
But as for Fubo and Venue, right now we've won a major victory. I don't think that we'll see anything before the end of the football season.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to probably drag on, and they're going to miss the start of the season, which is going to kill their...
Yeah, it's going to kill the streaming service.
It's going to kill whatever plan they had in place to collect a whole bunch of subscribers real quick for the start of football season. So we'll probably see nothing until maybe like the winter of 2025.
Yeah. So there you go. Our sports sampler there on our 500th episode there as we're rolling along here on this momentous episode. But we need to take a break. Don't go anywhere, though, because we still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news. When we return from the break, don't go anywhere. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
If you go to Taco Bell at 3 a.m, this is what you're going to get. Yeah,
That clip is already coming into play.
yes,
I love it.
already. So there you go.
Stop.
What happened?
The thing went on.
Well, how did that turn on? That was
I don't
weird.
know. The fart sound.
The fart sound turned Amazon on?
I think the fart sound turned on my Echo.
What the
I
hell?
don't know. It turned on.
What are you doing, Jeff Bezos? What are you into?
Basically, he's listening to fart sounds.
He's listening to our fart sounds. Oh my god.
I changed the trigger word to fart. I got to fart at it now. I don't know what happened.
That's really awkward. You're going to have to... Excuse me.
Excuse me. How can I help you?
You may need some bowel.
Do you want me to automatically order you Pepto-Bismol? I don't know why. I don't know why I'm talking to it solely through farts now.
It actually, you fart into it.
Fart
and-
once for yes and twice for no.
No. Actually, you fart into the device, and then
Yeah.
Amazon can determine what
you-
medicine you need.
Oh, right. Wow. That's next level right there. Or what you've been eating and what you want to reorder.
Oh.
I detect Cheetos. Would you like to subscribe?
Would you like a bulk order of Cheetos?
Ooh, yes, please.
Cheetos ordered.
Cheetos. That story took a turn.
Yeah.
Cheetos ordered.
Okay. All right. There you go. The latest from Jeff Bezos and Amazon.
It's amazing technology, I tell you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast, number 500, our 500th episode officially. But yeah, we've been through a lot in these 11 years between our audio podcast, the COVID times where we had the Crispy Compact Communique, and then our current version of the podcast. Yep. So I mean, it's been a hell of a journey so far.
It really has been.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go.
And Mike is already off to a
The-
slow start.
the
There you go.
audio issues always.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway.
Now you're in, right?
Yeah, I'm in now.
Okay, you're in the Matrix. All right, fantastic.
I'm plugged in.
We made it to 500, and that's it. All the microphones just cut out.
You know what it is? The mixer had enough of me. It's like, you know what, you're done.
Yeah, you made it to 500. We had enough of you.
Although, random side note, this equipment has been a champ, knock on wood.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been using this stuff for a while now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's still going strong.
We're not going to jinx it, though.
No.
But yeah, anyway.
Okay.
500.
Yep, number 500. Now let's get to the second part of our show where we go over some movie, TV, and video game news in the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. As especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty?
Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, entertainment entree time officially opening up. We'll go over some movie, TV, and video game news, as is referenced by our title screen there. I also throw in gambling because it's exciting. Hey.
Well, we do odds for things.
That's right,
like,
actually, for the Emmys, the Oscars.
The Emmys, the Oscars.
So actually, that is appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, we usually do something there, so it still kind of fits.
Yeah. So there you go. That is the basis of this segment. And we like to kick it off with the segment where Mike lets you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new TV, music, video game properties in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, this week, one big thing to keep an eye out for. It's on Hulu, Only Murders in the Building, returning for its 4th season. I know, this show is one of my favorites currently on TV right now. It's coming back Tuesday, August 27th. This season finds the trio of podcasters traveling to LA to investigate a death, and they also find in town that a film adaptation of their podcast has started, and they've got some great guest actors as well this upcoming season. Now, of course, I can't find it anywhere, but just trust me that they have some great guest actors as well.
I know I saw Eugene Levy and Zach Galifianakis in the trailer.
That's exactly who it is.
Yep.
But yeah, super excited. I did not realize it was coming back that soon. It just seems like the last one just ended in my mind.
Well, yeah, at this rate, they're doing one a year.
Yeah, which is, I mean, that's pretty good considering other shows like I follow House of the Dragon. That is 2 full years between seasons.
Yeah.
I know they got to make a lot of CG dragons, but Jesus, come on, guys.
Hey, come on, help us out here.
Make dragons faster. So yeah, Only Murders in the Building coming back for season 4, and that's on Hulu next week. But also in video games, real quick note, if you're a fan of old PlayStation 2 classics, all of the original Time Splitters games are hitting PlayStation Plus Classics this week.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I haven't thought of Time Splitters in forever. That was a great game.
I am so excited. I always felt that this franchise would be perfect for remastering and revisiting in modern games. Creating those levels.
Yeah. Map maker.
And also, all of the different gameplay modes, the entire game is co-op, split-screen co-op. You also have death matches. You have, mission-based multiplayer modes. There's just King of the Hill. There's so many different gameplay modes in the multiplayer. It's perfect. Just do it. Somebody do it.
Yeah. Come on. Why can't Sony just, make a remaster? Come on.
Yeah, something like that. But anyway, that's coming out on PlayStation Plus, and that's what we're looking forward to this week in entertainment.
All right, there you go, Mikey. Thank you for that segment. Well, where Mikey is looking forward to something, unfortunately, we have news that goes the opposite direction. That is because, Disney has announced that they are canceling the Star Wars show, The Acolyte.
Yeah, this was... for me, it was kind of shocking and upsetting because even though I had issues with season 1, I thought that they still had enough there to work with for a season 2. They had introduced a couple of unique elements. I was excited to explore this pre-Skywalker universe, this part of Star Wars, but I guess they decided that the online discourse was too much, that the viewership wasn't high enough, even though it was getting couple million viewers an episode. So they axed it after 1 season. What do you think? Is that too soon to axe a show before it really gets into the swing of things? How many shows do you watch where it doesn't pick up until the 2nd or 3rd season? I'm thinking Schitt's Creek or even a Breaking Bad.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Or,
the first season was kind of rough.
You got to get through. I saw a study once that Netflix put out years ago that talked about how many episodes somebody has to watch of a show before they commit to watching the whole series. And for Breaking Bad, it was like a full 8 episodes. Like that's a considerable amount of shows before somebody commits. Like that's almost the whole first season.
Yeah, I think that is the full. Wasn't the first season short?
Probably. First seasons usually are.
Yeah.
So I mean, the point stands. Like, how do you feel about the Acolyte going out after one season? I know you had your problems with it, but I mean,
yeah,
there was something to work with there, right?
I'm sad, but I'm not shocked. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And it just seems like Disney, when it comes to these Disney Plus shows,
they're not messing around.
Other than Mandalorian, they're kind of misfiring.
Well, that represents another kind of big topic here when it comes to the Acolyte, is that it kind of underscores a struggle that Disney and Lucasfilms have been having with the Star Wars properties post Skywalker. Other than Mandalorian and anything that's related to it, meaning Ahsoka, Boba Fett, they don't really do anything.
What in terms of what critical response or
in terms of anything? Like the only shows that have succeeded are anything Mandalorian related. Everything is kind of tied into that part of the universe. There's been no movies since 2019. There's been no shows outside of The Mandalorian that have continued on, right?
Yep.
I think Andor's the only show that's not related to The Mandalorian that has found any kind of success.
Yeah, they're going to have a second season.
They're going to have a second season of that, but other than that, it's all part of the Mandoverse. It's Mandalorian, Boba Fett, Ahsoka. The upcoming Skeleton Crew is also produced by the same people who do The Mandalorian. There's the Mandalorian movie. Is The Mandalorian the new Skywalker saga? Like, is this just like, is everything going to revolve around?
Well, right now, it's the only thing that's working for Disney.
Is this a problem?
Yes.
Okay.
And boy, this is something I don't think I would have said at the beginning of Disney taking over Star Wars. But I think Disney might have a real problem where it might just only be just kind of Skywalker. And like it just seems like everything that they've tried to do that's not Skywalker era is just not working.
Is this a problem with the properties they're choosing, or is this a problem with fan expectations? Because this is tough in fandoms, because it happens in it seems like every sci-fi and fantasy fandom. There is a large and vocal portion that just want what they want.
I think there might be some element to the fan backlash that holds water, but it just seems like these stories that they're choosing, that either they're not written well or they're not being executed well. And
why is that? What's going on here?
The Acolyte had some moments that they really could have expanded on, and it could have been interesting. Definitely everything with the Sith being kind of coming out of their shell and kind of trying to turn somebody as an acolyte. Like, that should have been the key focus of that show.
I don't know
and
why.
I don't know, somewhere along the line, they were like, no, let's focus more on the Jedi being dumb cops. And that was,
I don't know why they had the guy from Suicide Game like have such a central role to it. He was useless. I thought it was such a great concept up until like the last episode or two, where you put it best, the dumb cop angle was in full effect. Like, these Jedi were like, they're like, what is Force? How to Force? Like, they completely forgot how to do anything, basically.
Yeah.
So
that's a big problem. I've mentioned this before on a past episode, but Red Letter Media really put it right. Disney, the people that are in charge of Disney Star Wars, it seems like they have they don't know what the Force is and what it isn't, because they keep expanding the powers that the Force can have, and that gets a little not unbelievable, because the Force is, a magical power, but it's still just like it's almost like they're breaking the rules that were established in the Lucas trilogy movies that we've seen.
Well, the thing
so
about
when you do that, it's like, well, then why didn't they do that in the other X, Y, and Z properties?
You kind of open up like a can of worms where you have somebody do something wild, and you're like, why did nobody do that before?
Right. It's like introducing time travel. It's like, well,
Yeah.
then we could have stopped any problem with time travel.
Right. I think that their
Time travel, or was it time travel? Was it called in Harry Potter?
The Time Turner?
Time Turner. Why didn't we use that?
The problem with the Force in the Disney properties is that I agree that they do too much, because the Force works best when you don't do anything at all. I know that sounds like a weird statement, but hear me out. Lucas did not really define any rules. The Force was a mystical power, and it should have stayed mystical.
Yeah.
You didn't, like, when they used it, it all felt very magical because they used it infrequently. Every once in a while, they'd do a little finger wave, and they would, like, convince a guard of something. Or they'd, like, jump extra high, or they'd choke somebody, or push something. Like, it was never anything, they were space wizards, but they were space wizards that used their magic sparingly, because in traditional magic systems, there's always a cost to magic. And I think what we're seeing here in the Disney properties, there's no cost to the magic. They're just doing whatever they want to do. They're raising people from the dead.
Yeah.
They're, like, teleporting their brains in different areas. They're like, they're doing too much with it. It worked best when it was mystical, when it was less defined, when, you know, the rules were not existent, but we respected the non-existence of them, and we didn't try to like go too far with it. Does that make sense? Because that's the vibe I'm getting from it.
Yeah, and I agree with what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
These aren't superheroes.
Right, they're not right, exactly. They're not superheroes. The Force is supposed to be very mystical and basically not understood very well.
Yeah.
Like, that's always the vibe I got from it. Even in the original trilogy, like, Obi-Wan is, like, he's just very, like, vague about it all.
Yeah.
Intentionally so. And Luke, like, barely has a grasp of it at all through the first two movies, or 4 and 5, whatever you want to say. Even in 6, he barely does anything with it. You know? What does he really use the Force for?
I mean, really, it's only the scenes with Jabba and fight with Vader.
Yeah, and that's
when he lifts C-3PO up with the Ewoks.
Right. And and that was considered, that was like, whoa. Like,
right.
Remember, like, Yoda lifting the X-Wing was like, whoa, that is...
Yeah, the power that you could wield, yeah.
Right. That was the pinnacle of it. And in the Disney properties, they're like, I don't know, blowing up planets and, like...
Force healing.
That's
such a big one. I can't stand that one.
That was... Apparently, that has, like, tethers to, like, the expanded universe. But if you're going to decanonize the expanded universe, you can't bring it into the movies randomly.
Yeah.
Anyway.
A Force forgetness, which happened in the Acolyte.
Oh, yeah. Just use it less. I think that's why The Mandalorian works so well, is because it still retains that mysticism.
Yes.
At the end of the day, Star Wars...
Only Baby Yoda's using the Force. Nobody else is.
Right, and every time he uses it, everyone's like, huh? Whoa, what? Like, Star Wars, at the end of the day, actually is a fantasy in sci-fi clothing. And for it being a fantasy, you have to maintain some level of mysticism. If you try to apply sci-fi rules to a fantasy, it starts to kind of come apart. So anyway, my ranting about that is over. I want to get back to focusing on The Acolyte and how disappointed I am that Disney didn't give it a chance to breathe and grow, because I do think that they need to do something to kind of like diversify their Star Wars offerings. What?
Not going to happen.
Oh.
Sorry. It's just the track record. They're gonna double down on Mandalorian. They're gonna do the movie. They're gonna and or season 2. They're gonna come up with Ahsoka 2. Like it's not gonna happen.
It's crazy because Ahsoka wasn't good.
Yep. But
because it's already tied into the established Mandoverse.
Yep.
It is wild. And I are we seeing the same issue in Star Wars that we've been seeing in Marvel, kind of like in a weird way? Like, not so much the over saturation, but in the over focus on, like, sticking to a thing and not being able to see the forest through the trees. Like, they're pushing properties that aren't, you know, I mean, I'm not to say The Acolyte was better or worse than Mandalorian or Ahsoka, but, like, why is Ahsoka getting lifted up and The Acolyte is being pushed down? When I would say they were almost equal quality. I remember watching the Ahsoka finale and being like, this is the dumbest crap I've ever seen in my life. Like, I really disliked, like, there were some elements that I enjoyed, but mostly I was like, I have no idea what is happening, why it's happening, and I don't care. And The Acolyte, at least I could kind of understand what was happening, but to me, they were of a very similar quality. They were like in the solid mid-6s. So why does one get completely canned and the other
Mandalorian?
that is insane. That is insane to me.
Yep.
Is that not a problem?
It is a problem, but for Disney, I think it's the safe bet. They'd rather trust a property related or at least adjacent to Mandalorian than something that's way out in the middle of nowhere space.
So how does it make you feel about the future of Star Wars?
If
it just becomes Mandalorian focused.
I'm worried. I think Disney might not be able to save this IP.
That's pretty shocking.
Yeah.
Well, I also noticed that other than the Mandalorian projects, which includes the movie and Andor season 2, there's really nothing on the horizon in terms of movies and TV shows.
Everything is kind of revolving around Mandalorian.
If one of those properties doesn't pan out, then all of a sudden there's not much there. And you know, this isn't to say that like they haven't tried. I think that's more alarming. They've been trying too. Remember, they gave the Game of Thrones creators were supposed to get a trilogy, and then all of a sudden they're like, nope, never mind.
Yeah.
There was supposed to be what is it called, like the Birth of the Force or like something, that movie that they talked about that we haven't heard anything about that. They were going to do another High Republic era movie.
Wasn't there supposed to be a movie too with Rey?
Haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
And Rise of Skywalker came out in 2019. So it's been a full-on, going on 6 years. I mean, at the end of the year, it's going to be about 6 years almost in 2025.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's not good when only one channel of your IP is working.
Or do we see another gap between movies like we did between episode 6 and episode 1? we had to wait like...
I don't think Disney would allow it.
No. They'll churn some crap out before they do that.
Yeah. All right. So
disappointing
there you go.
stuff.
Entertainment entree wrapped up right there. But now, without further ado, let's get you to the segment where you will laugh. You will hear something that you never heard before. It is the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts! That'll be $4, baby! You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meat tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders. Go to the bathroom because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news here. In this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and he keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions to these stories are my genuine gut reactions to hearing these stories for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And before we get started, do we want to talk about this segment at all in light of the 500th episode?
You know what? I figured how about we do the same thing we do with the sports sampler. Let's go over the title screen.
Let's go down memory lane a little bit.
Yep. So on the top left, we've got the guy that went crazy against a cop and threw a Bible.
That's a more recent story.
Yes, and I just love the fact that the body cam footage got him at the perfect throwing angle.
Yeah, I remember at the time when the story broke, we dove into that image so much. There's so much happening. For people that aren't on the video podcast, you got to get on it because, I mean, this man, he's naked. He's got nothing but underwear on, but also he's like...
He's got a rosary on, too.
He's got a rosary on. He's winding up to throw this Bible, but they're also, like, in the middle of nowhere. Like, what is this, like, dirt road that they're on?
There's like a dog in the bottom left corner.
Yeah, there's a dog wandering around. Like, there's so much going on in this image. Just absolutely breathtaking.
Yeah.
And then immediately next to him, now, that guy was from Florida. And the guy
yes.
and the guy in the middle, any guesses to where he's from, Rich?
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
Yeah, definitely the dumbest conversation we've ever had.
Yes.
About tattooing your forehead with a state.
Yes. So, again, for those of you not on the video feed, he just has the state of Florida tattooed in the middle of his forehead.
Yep.
It's as simple as that.
Yep. Hall of Fame worthy right there.
Really is. And next to him, this is the lady who married the fence, or
she's in love with the fence. Yes, she said she is physically and emotionally and I guess sexually in love with the fence.
We've had it's just every time I think about one of these stories, I have to take a deep breath because it's that breathtakingly stupid. We've had so many stories where people fall in love with the most ridiculous things. I mean, one of my all-time favorite stories, an early one, we're talking like first 20, 30 episodes, was the lady who married the Ferris wheel.
Bruce the Ferris wheel, yeah.
Bruce the Ferris wheel. And we joked about how he's rolling down the aisle and all that stuff. But it never stopped from there. It was the Ferris wheel. It was, remember, some lady loved a piece of scrap metal from an airplane.
Yes.
Somebody loved automobiles. Like, she had to have cops watch her 24/7 because she just couldn't stop doing things to automobiles.
Yep.
The lady with the fence. Some guy with pool inflatables.
Yeah, flatey ladies, yeah.
Flatey ladies, and it never gets better. It only keeps, the things that people...
So if you're disappointed in the dating pool, just go after an inanimate object.
Right, exactly.
There are options.
There's options for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's a lady who loved a fence.
Yep. And then going down from her in the title screen, we have the lady that decided to get naked and jumped into somebody else's random pool and just started swimming. So she's naked in there. So
getting naked, another common theme. People in the odd news, they're like, when all else fails, take the clothes off. That might help matters.
Yep.
It never does.
Yep. Next to her on the left, unfortunately, we have a pervert of the odd news that decided to have some fun with an Elmo.
See, again, with the inanimate objects.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was in the middle of a Target or a Walmart, wasn't it? It was some horrific thing.
Yeah. Elmo did not have a good day that day.
No, he did not. He was tickled in all the wrong ways.
Yes. And then to the left of that was a very miniature gun that was actually shoved up a woman's hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha!
Yep. That was up there.
I know some women who could hide a machine gun in there.
Yeah.
To this day, I still have no idea what that anchor was going for.
Yeah, with that comment.
He just comes out of nowhere.
I know some women who could hide a machine gun in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, machine gun up there.
Absolutely just insane.
Yeah. So that's our title screen history.
That's the title screen history. The history of the segment as well. Starting from the very first episode, you're like, this has got to be a big part of the show. We're just going to talk about odd news.
Oh, yep. Love odd news.
And only the original listeners will know that we started with both of us bringing stories.
Yeah, that's right.
To reveal to the other person.
Yep.
And we quickly realized that I didn't find the same quality in quotes odd news as Rich could, and that I had a more authentically outlandish reaction to the stories that Rich brought. And we found our niche where Rich finds the stories and I react. It has always been one of the most stressful segments because I literally have no idea. People might think oh, he's clued in. No. For 500 plus episodes, I go into the segment with zero preparation, zero knowledge of what's going to happen. It's always stressful, but it's always a lot of fun as well.
Yes. So yeah, literally, Mikey doesn't know,
I know
the stories
nothing.
that I read. So.
Absolutely not. In the rundown, I just have one line, just odd news.
Yep. And then he trusts me to take over.
And we used to do 7 of these.
Yeah.
An episode.
Yep. But now
we have less now.
Yeah, but now I think
the
we do
quality still up there.
Right, we do quality and we do a deep dive.
Yes.
So I think it works better this way.
Exactly.
But
I'm ready to get started.
Yeah, without further ado, let's get into some odd news. And you know what? It's our 500th episode. Let's honor one of our Superfan Shapek.
Oh, man. All right.
Superfan Shapek sent me this story on Twitter.
Wait, he gets the sausage shout out.
That's right. Let's give him the sausage shout out. Sausage! Because that's what happens, by the way. If you submit a comment or a story idea that you send to us and we use it, we give you a sausage shout out. Sausage! So there you go. You could have a sausage shout out as well, along with Superfan Shapek. But he is just our man on the street. He finds these odd news stories for us.
Yeah.
And would it surprise you? It's a Florida story.
Of course.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
All right. And this is a very unusual theft here, because a Florida man is behind bars after a unusual interaction with a bank teller last week. 41-year-old Michael Fleming stands accused of a count of robbery, but it might have been a plan all along, because he strolled into Chase Bank at 2 p.m. In Lady Lake. Ooh.
Lady Lake,
whoa,
Florida.
That sounds interesting. What is happening over there?
Oh, it's a lady.
Yeah, Lady Lake. Ooh.
Oh, it's a lady.
Lady Lake is huge. It has 16,000 people in it.
Whoa, that's a lot for a lady.
That is a lot.
Oh, it's a lady.
Anyway,
it's a very popular Lady Lake.
Yes. Sheriff's deputies received a call about an in-progress bank robbery, and arrived to find that the thief was sitting down and waiting for them. That is because Fleming allegedly entered the building and filled out a withdrawal slip, handed it to the bank teller, and the bank teller noted that the slip only said 1 cent.
Oh, okay.
1 cent.
So, wait, I'm confused. Oh, he's robbing them for No, he's a...
Yes.
Wait,
so first, he's asking for a withdrawal of 1 cent.
Right.
I want 1 cent, please.
Okay. So how did this prompt a police response?
So the bank teller then asked, "Do you have an account with us?" The defendant said no.
Oh.
And she said, "I cannot give you 1 cent." That's when the defendant said, "So you want me to say the other word?"
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's ominous.
Yep. At which point she pushed the panic button that was underneath the desk. So
all this
over 1 cent.
He would have had more success going to a 7-Eleven.
Yes.
And doing the take a penny, leave a penny.
Yes.
Wow. But he also went through the trouble of filling out the withdrawal slip.
Yes.
Which, do people even use the paper slips anymore?
I guess if you actually go into the bank.
I guess so. Yeah.
Because, I mean, even if you go through the drive-thru, you don't use it.
No. And I know I bank with Citizens. You just go in, you put your card in the little thing they have up there at the teller, even if you do go into a physical location.
Yeah. I don't know.
So he asked for 1 cent.
Yes. I want 1 cent.
And the teller said no.
Yep.
So obviously things had to escalate.
Yes. So at that point, that's when the teller refused, pushed the button. Cops arrived onto the scene. On a random note in the police report, the cops noted that Fleming started developing hiccups
Okay, that's a weird,
random
weird thing to note in the middle of a robbery.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
Hold on a minute.
Those cops are weirdly thorough. They're like,
hold on a minute.
They're like, suspect developed hiccups. Suspect is holding his breath to stop the hiccups.
Yes. Hold on.
Suspect has stopped his hiccups. Suspect has burped.
Suspect has burped.
Like, they noted the hiccups, but like, where does it stop? Where do you draw the line? You like talk about like other bodily functions, like he's breathing really heavily.
He let out a fart.
He let out a fart.
No.
He's blinking a lot. He's a little sweaty. Like,
yeah. All right. So then he was arrested. When they were processing him down at the county jail, he then grabbed multiple pamphlets about the Miranda rights and kept circling his right to stay quiet.
I mean, he's committed to the bit.
Yes.
He doesn't want to say that he's exercising his right because he doesn't want to speak.
And I know who's emailing and who's doing it, and you've been reported to the cyber police.
Yes. He knows his rules.
That's commitment right there.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep.
So why did he need that many pamphlets? He circled it multiple times?
Yeah, he really wanted to get the point across that he wasn't going to tell the cops why he did this.
Yeah. Clearly, though, he wanted... Here's the thing. You initiate a robbery for a single penny. Like, you're not doing it to actually get the money or to, put anybody in danger. You're doing it to get the attention of the authorities. That's what people do. So why then would he not want to talk? If he's got something to say or got, he wanted them.
He wants to be mysterious.
He wants to be, right.
What were you saying about the Force earlier?
Right. You
Don't explain it.
Don't explain it. It's got to be mystical. It's got to be mysterious and vague.
He wants to be the Force. He wants to be mysterious.
Disney should do a movie of him then.
Yeah. The police report also notes that cops did not find that he had an account with Chase Bank. They also found that he did not actually steal any money, so that's good.
Right.
He also has no prior convictions for robbery.
This is so weird. What was his end game then?
Yeah, he wanted to grab attention. I don't know. And he has remained silent. He is remaining in jail, and his bond is currently set at $5,000.
$5,000?
Yeah. I mean, he did.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
He did threaten a bank teller.
I guess, yeah.
But, it's interesting. I don't think he's going to get as punished as I think he thinks he's going to.
Yeah, like,
because
what is his end game here?
If his goal was to get a prison sentence, like, he's not actually going to get a whole lot of time. He'll probably just get, maybe threatening and intimidation. But like he didn't actually steal anything.
There was no weapon. He didn't steal anything. The amount of money, one penny.
You know what? I woke up today. I kind of want to try jail. That was actually what happened. He woke up.
He's like, you know what? He's just crossing things off his bucket list. He's like, you know what I haven't done yet? I haven't been arrested.
Yeah, why not?
And imprisoned. I'll give that a try.
Give it a shot.
This is jail. You don't get to choose your mommy and your dad and your Aunt Lily. I'm your aunt.
I want to meet my Aunt Lily.
That clip, your Aunt Lily. That's so weirdly specific.
I haven't met my Aunt Lily.
I have not met an Aunt Lily either. Maybe I should try prison.
Yeah. So all I got to do is just...
He just woke up one day. He's like, I want to try being in prison.
Yeah, why not? Have some fun.
That's super weird. Yeah, like, I don't think anything's going to happen. Like, he has no prior convictions. Nobody got hurt. There was no weapon. There was no money taken. The amount of money was so low. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Like, if I'm the cops, I'm like, okay, like, what are we supposed to do with this guy? He was probably looking for a place to sleep.
Yeah, he probably wanted 3 hots and a cot.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. There's no other reason for going and demanding 1 penny.
Yep.
But also, if you're the teller, like, I don't know. Just
come on, give him a penny.
Just give him the penny. Like, if he goes in there and goes, I want $100 million. I mean, obviously, push the little button. But if I'm a teller and anybody comes in and asks for anything less than $1, I'm just giving them
come
my
on, help 'em
pocket
out.
change. Like what? Yeah, like is it really that big a deal? Is Chase Bank really going to fall on hard times with that 1 penny?
Yep. The whole stock crumbles.
I guess the executives are like, if we give him a penny, we start a dangerous precedent. We have to give everybody a penny. Oh, boo-hoo.
Yeah.
I don't know. I say give the man a penny.
Yeah. All right, so that was the story from Superfan Chapak.
Thank you.
But I do have another Florida story that I was going to run with before I got that notification. So
Okay.
here's my original Florida odd news story I was going to run.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
It's always a good show when you get a double dose of Florida.
Yep. And this time we are talking about a falsity with pizza. How can we can't stand this.
Falsity with pizza?
Yes.
Okay.
This will not stand.
Uh-oh.
Yep.
We can't have any false pizza. What's going on here?
Yep. In South Florida, a 50-year-old man is facing a felony charge after a bizarre pizza impersonation scheme left customers getting a raw deal, according to police.
I'm 50 years old.
Yeah.
Pizza impersonation?
Yep. Here's the story. Police said that he ran an elaborate scheme to defraud tourists staying in the hotels of Miami Springs by pretending to be a well-known local pizza parlor.
So, how do you do that? How do you pretend to be a pizza place?
Oh, I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
So the villain here is Jose Marti Alvarez. According to police, Marti Alvarez would distribute fake pizza flyers to hotel rooms near Miami International Airport advertising Roman Pizzeria.
Okay.
Roman Pizzeria is an actual pizzeria that is run by a man named Jesus Roman.
Okay.
He is legit. He's been cooking up pizza for 4 decades. But the number that was put on the flyers would go to Marti Alvarez instead of the actual Roman's Pizza. Police said that that afterwards, when he would get the calls from the tourists that were staying in the hotel, he would serve them frozen pizza from the grocery store instead.
Oh. I guess you could say you had yourself a manwich. Yeah. Ooh.
You know, that's not a bad idea.
Except that it is fraud.
No, well, I'm... Technicalities aside. No, if you get like a slightly better pizza, like if you go to like, I don't know, like a Wegmans or something, you get like the pizza that they have like from the hot station thing, or like a Whole Foods, like something a step above frozen pizza, right? But not as expensive as legit pizzeria pizza. Like, that's not a bad idea. And I think his problem was that he probably did it too many times. If you do it like once or twice, make a quick $20, $30, like you'll never get caught. Do not, again, take the advice on this podcast. I feel like every once in a while I have to specify that because I worry sometimes.
Well, unfortunately, you're forgetting the victim here, which is the real people behind Roman's Pizza.
That's true. He is giving them a bad name in the process.
Yep, because Jesus Roman investigated the fraud when he noticed complaints to the Better Business Bureau about his pizza shop and negative reviews and upset customers that were noted from his food. So yeah, it that's not good. You're taking out.
Wait, you know what you should do? You should just start a ghost kitchen out of your house. Like, have you seen those on all those apps like Uber Eats and everything?
Well, that's what this guy's essentially doing, but he's stealing Roman's Pizzeria.
But don't use a name of an actual business. You just start your own restaurant and you just serve DiGiorno, but you upcharge it.
Ah, yes, gourmet.
Yeah.
Gorlami. It should be Gorlami Pizzeria.
Gorlami. Sounds fancy.
Yeah.
No, I found out about these ghost kitchens because I ordered
Gorlami.
Anyway, I ordered. No, what is that?
Oh, Inglourious Bastards.
Man, I haven't seen that movie in
That's
in
his
a
fake
while.
Italian name.
Gorlami? Ooh.
Gorlami.
We should start Gorlami.
Gorlami.
Gorlami food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gorlami. Gorlami Eatery or something. Gorlami Pizzeria. But no, I found out about these ghost kitchens because I ordered a Mr. Beast burger like a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah, that's a scam.
It's a scam. I go to pick it up, and I'm find myself parked outside of a Friendly's. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? Why did my GPS take me to a Friendly's? It's a ghost kitchen. Don't order Mr. Beast burger. It's just Friendly's. Anyway.
Yep. So that's the fraud that we've got going on here. We've got this Alvarez guy. We got this Marti Alvarez guy cooking up fake frozen pizza on behalf of Roman's Pizzeria. All right, so then this is where things get a little more interesting because
it doesn't end there.
No. So the guy who owns Roman Pizzeria, Jesus Roman, decided to track Marti Alvarez down and confronted him in the hotel where he ran this scheme out of. At that point, Marti Alvarez ran from Jesus Roman, got into a vehicle, and inadvertently hit a staff member trying to flee the scene.
Oh no. Okay, so if you're committing fraud, don't also add vehicular assault to the charges.
Yeah, that's not going to help your case there. Come
Definitely
on.
not.
101, how to make a situation worse.
That poor bystander, he's just like hanging out.
He was probably going to order pizza from him.
Probably. He's like, I want to try this new place.
Yeah, I just kind of smell that pizza.
Yeah.
It's got to be nearby somewhere. Where's that coming from?
That poor guy.
It's getting closer and closer.
It's getting closer and closer. It's like it's speeding straight towards me. I know they say hot and fast, but this is a little too fast for my liking.
I didn't even order it yet.
Yeah.
Huh. Smells like it's going 30 miles per hour.
Oh, God, no. Not the pizza. This poor guy.
Yeah. The police report noted that it does say he hit a member of the hotel staff with his vehicle.
Damn.
So unfortunately, in addition to fraud, he now is going to have an aggravated battery charge thrown at him. And he's been set on a $5,000 bond. So, yeah, unfortunately, Marti Alvarez, I think his scheme is up.
You know, he could have just started his own ghost kitchen, picked a random fancy name like Gorlami Pizzeria.
Gorlami.
You stole some pictures off of the internet to make your pizza look good, and then just like cook up DiGiorno and send that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you. I don't know what how much you'd actually make from that, but like I feel like you could swindle a few people out of some money. I don't know why I'm approaching this like, that's a good.
Mikey's actually going to do this next week.
This is a good second job, you know. I could just like make a bunch of bagel bites and just call them something different and be like, oh, this is like an independent local
Gorlami bites.
Gorlami bites, yeah, it's an independent local upstart, you know, fast casual. Like just tell me that isn't happening all the time though.
I hope not, but you could be right.
I'm going to try it.
And unfortunately in Florida, that was actually happening to some guy's business.
It's a shame that he stole somebody else's company name.
Yeah.
You know, and was posing as them. That's the fraud. If you just are a crappy, you know, person, you could obviously just like, you know, sell frozen product. A lot of restaurants probably do that.
Actually, I know exactly what product you should be shilling as your ghost kitchen.
Oh?
Sure. I'm going to bring a Hot Pocket to bed tonight then.
I love Hot Pockets.
But you got to call it something fancy. I don't know.
Pocket Caliente.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Pocket. What is Spanish for pocket?
I don't know.
Pocket Caliente.
Do a Google search. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you have Google in front of you, Mike. That's the whole reason why we have computers here. It's right in front of you.
I forgot. I'm usually so quick with the research, too. I got a 404 error. What the heck?
Sure. I'm going to bring a Hot Pocket to bed tonight then.
Are you not connected to the internet now?
No, there we go.
There you go.
I can't say that. Bolsillo.
Bolsillo. Just call it. I'll have a bolsillo.
Bolsillo caliente.
No, just simple. Bolsillo. Just
Bolsillo.
leave it at that.
Pocket.
That sounds like a food item.
Bolsillo.
Bolsillo.
I'm going to start. Do you want to start a ghost kitchen with me?
Sure.
We'll call it the Crispy Noodle.
And we only have one product. Bolsillo.
Bolsillo. It's just Hot Pockets. They're delicious, though.
You get 2 bolsillo.
They're made hot and fresh right here in Crispy Noodle headquarters.
In Ambler.
Sure. I'm going to bring a Hot Pocket to bed tonight then.
We only deliver like 10 minutes away because I'm super lazy. You can deliver wherever you want to, Rich, but I'm only going 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. So there you go. Bolsillo.
Bolsillo. If you want a bolsillo, we have pepperoni bolsillo.
4 cheese bolsillo.
4 cheese bolsillo.
Supreme bolsillo.
Ooh, the Supreme is really good. It's got a buttery, flaky crust. There's something wrong with us.
All right. What a way to conclude our 500th episode, coming up with fraud for our second job.
We've definitely dabbled.
There you go. We've done it.
Oh, man. That's good stuff right there. Don't commit fraud.
Yeah,
please.
let's not do that. No,
Everybody listening. I feel like we have to say that as a disclaimer.
Yeah. This is what we've come to now. We have to put disclaimers on that. But there you go, folks. 2 Florida odd news stories to wrap up our 500th episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. What a journey it's been.
What a journey.
And what a journey we still have to go.
Yeah, hopefully we got another 500 episodes.
Yep.
And change.
Yep. And we look forward to sharing every week with you. So make sure you are subscribed to get the episodes sent to you every week. 2 main ways to do that. First way is on YouTube, going to our YouTube page, hitting the subscribe button so that you get the episode sent straight to you. And the second main way is on Spotify. We put the video podcast up on Spotify so you can watch the podcast on Spotify. But you can also put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as a traditional audio-only podcast. And using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you. So if you're journeying around, if you're going to Florida, if you're going to make some delivery drops of Bolsillo Pizzeria, you can take us on the go with you using those wonderful apps, Android Auto and Apple CarPlay with Spotify.
Yes, absolutely. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I am at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. You can find us on Twitter, X, whatever it's called. If you send us a news topic or an odd news story and we mention it on the show, we give you a sausage shout out, just like Superfan Chapek did on this week's episode. Make sure any odd news goes to me so that Mikey doesn't see it.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let us know if there's a topic that you want us to talk about on next week's episode or with the upcoming NFL season, because as we said, we're looking forward to it. It's coming up very fast.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it. But for right now, we got to wrap up this momentous 500th episode. Thank you guys for supporting us. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.